Hello, everyone. We're back. Unfortunately, not for an episode of the campaign today, but however, we are going to be answering questions about the previous one. Anything that you guys wanted to know, decisions that were made, what characters were thinking in certain areas, and if there was anything unexplored that could have been found. The next campaign, I'm excited to announce right now, it's going to be starting May 1st. So I'm very excited about it. The characters the concepts that are already out are amazing. Again, with this crew, I don't expect anything less. But so May 1st will be when we're starting that new one. And that one will be taking place in the Tall Pine Forest, which some of you familiar with the map may know that is also on the Everreach coast. It will be leaking into the area next to it as well. So we'll have some new maps and stuff, which will be exciting. But because of that, there will be some stuff that I either can't or won't answer, simply because I don't want it to ruin things for future campaigns and stuff like that. So I may just defer on some of them. Also, another unfortunate, we won't be able to answer every single question about all of the characters. Zephyr Scar has decided to step away from the Tales from Hylem community. I respect his decision and wish him the best, and that's all we're going to say about it. So, unfortunately, he won't be here to answer questions about Valandir. However, I'll do what I can just based on notes that I already have, and I'm gonna go shut that bot off in Stream Elements right now because it's inaccurate.
I was about to type in the chat. Ignore this for today.
This is the whole reason that we're here.
Yeah,
No, we do
actually
wanna
talk
answer
to
your
us.
questions.
So yeah, I'm opening it up right now, guys. Any questions that you guys have? There are a few things that I want to touch on, and then at the end we'll give like a little teensy tiny sneak preview of what you guys will be getting into with us on May 1st. So that's about it. So if you guys chat, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. We are going to be talking, interacting with you guys today. That's what today's all about. So any questions about the campaign, fire away. But I am going to give a little bit of priority here to the players. So with that being said, from episodes 1 to episodes 13, let's split it up. Let's split it up into like the first arc and the second arc. Obviously, the second one is a lot longer, but from the first one, the island, the shipwreck, everything that happened there, what are some questions that you guys had? I definitely have some stuff I want to touch on, but what do you guys have first? And I'm gonna go shut that bot off.
Was there anything that we didn't find on the island?
Yes, absolutely there was.
Had a feeling.
So
Is it stuff you're able to talk about?
yes. I don't expect you guys to go back to the island. It could happen eventually. By then, I'm sure you'd be like higher level people anyway. I'm not gonna shipwreck another level 3 party on the same island. Unless it's for a one shot, which would just be really funny.
That'd be very funny.
The cave that Zorbus discovered. If you had decided to keep following that all the way through, that went all the way through the island to the other side and up into the cave of the Wormling.
No, we did discover that.
We did go all the way through that.
Oh, you
We did it at the end.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, at the end you did?
Yeah. But remember we after we killed the thing.
Oh, you found that the tunnel came out in. Oh, yep. Okay. Never mind. I guess you found that.
To be fair, I didn't know that because I wasn't here.
Fair
That's
enough.
fair.
All right. Well, we told. That's why I told that. Totally. I think it was just because you guys didn't use it to sneak up on the Wormling. Is because that was one of the plans I had in my head. Is they find the cave and then they use that.
Nah, we prefer to go for singing.
You guys never interacted with the other tribe of kobolds.
No, we didn't.
You only interacted with the one tribe. The others were they would not have been as receptive to you. It would have been a lot more of a violent interaction. They would have tried to take you as offerings for the wormling. So, as chance would have it, you just choosing to go with the other kobolds, it worked out better. Or choosing not to engage with them. Because I remember you guys got to the top of the hill, and you're like, okay, so which way do we want to go? Kobolds this way, kobolds that way, rocks and stuff over here, what do we want to do? And you guys went for the rocks. And because you didn't go to the one group of kobolds, then you guys just never ended up actually meeting with each other. So, but they were definitely like a lot more aggressive.
Speaking of that wormling,
Mm-hmm.
Kaiful Altiri, was there a reason it was there? Like, is there a story reason?
That I
'Cause
cannot
remember-
answer.
Okay. I was gonna say,
Well,
I
the answer
remember-
would be yes. There is a reason, but that reason is not something that I can talk
That you
about
can
at this time. Yep.
Because I remember Morrison and Takar had a conversation about you guys just had like a dealing with shadow dragons or something.
So what their conversation was alluding to was a story of the dwarves in Zon of Lyneth. The Zon of Lynethian dwarves from each of the keeps there, when many years ago, they had mined deep within the rocks as dwarves do, and in the process had woke up a sleeping ancient shadow dragon. And
God.
had gone to war with it for many years until eventually it disappeared, never showed up again. And so they're like, okay, it either died from its wounds or got tired fighting the dwarves. Whatever, it's gone, basically. And so what Takar and Captain Morrison's conversation was about was both of them were familiar with that story from the dwarves. And so because of that, they're like, well, this could be alarming. Like, we don't know. Like, if it's a wormling, that means that it's not any older than like 10 years old. So that means it was recently hatched here. And if it was recently hatched here, that means that there is a shadow dragon somewhere near enough to have hatched an egg in this cave within the last decade, basically. And so they're like, that's something we should be on the lookout for. So I guess actually, yeah, I can tell you, because some characters already knew, you know. And if a character in the future is familiar with the dwarves and dwarven lore and stuff, then they would also be familiar with the ancient shadow dragon. So something I think you guys will just, especially Gibby, will just appreciate. The kobolds still hold a celebration.
Of course.
It's every 3 months to celebrate the changings of the season, represented by the sacrifice of the walking god to their freedom upon the island. So
Of course they do.
their war cries with the other tribe of kobolds on that island are often have to do with Zorbis or the plane of Dweomerhart, because they do it in the honor of Zorbis the Almighty every time they run into battle. So so it would actually be fun to do a one-shot going back there, because I would love for someone to run into the kobold tribe of Zorbis,
Mhm.
the Zorbians.
The Zorbians.
Oh Lord.
So since Zorbis is dead, I can finally say like he was actually a god.
Yep.
What happened to him
That was what
after
I was
he
gonna
died?
ask. I was like,
So
was Zorpus actually a celestial?
so I don't want to go like too far into this, because I know you love Zorbis, and I kind of want to give him a better ending in a one shot. I kind of want to do something where we find out what happened after Zorbis died, and like actually like play through it in a one shot and stuff, so that like you get some sort of closure from it. The other idea though that I did have was, instead of doing that, is that Zorbis is stuck here until he figures his shit out. And so an idea that I had is maybe later on in one of the campaigns or one of the side stories or something, Zorbus will show up every once in a while as an NPC, and people can meet Zorbus, and we get to watch his character arc happen that way. So either way, I'd be down to explore, but I thought one of those might be kind of fun for Zorbus, since he didn't, I mean, Zorbus died in a very Zorbus way, but
Yeah,
right.
he didn't really get a good ending,
No. I'll be honest, that's kind of what I expected to happen, was just have him fall out of the sky again and just be like, no, I can't go. I gotta figure this shit out before I can actually, like, go back home by any means, including dying.
So I would love to do something like that, but at the same time, then that just gives someone, because me personally in that situation, it would be hard to not think like, oh, my character can't actually die. And so you just like run into situations you don't ever have to like think about any consequences for anything, because if you die, so what? I'm coming back.
Right.
So
Fair.
but
Yeah, your character arc for Zorbus.
oh yeah, Silver is the biggest Zorbus fan. Silver loves
Really?
Zorbus. Yeah, Silver loved Zorbus as
Someone
a
has to
character.
be other than
She called me
Kobold.
after she watched that episode and was like, "Why is Zorbus dead?" And I was like, "What do you watched the episode? You know why he's dead."
What do you mean, why?
But yeah, no, Silver is a big Zorbus fan. Loves Zorbus. So,
Oh, that's hilarious.
oh yeah, no, it's great. It's great. And
So-
again, me too. Like Zorbus, like from a viewing perspective, I was like, yeah, this character has a lot of potential for a good character arc. DMing wise, I'm like, oh fuck, do I keep this arrogant prick with the party? Like, god damn. But no, yeah. So Zorbus, one of those two things. I haven't. There's a little bit of creative confliction. I'm not sure which one I want to go with. But I mean, it's your character, so I'm definitely down to hear what you have to say about it too. If not now, at some point.
We could figure that out.
Yeah. It would be a fun character to come back to.
I have another question.
Okay.
So I remember that there was that cove that was like full of the wrecked ships. Was there a magical reason for that, or was it just like currents?
deciding if he can actually answer this.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's kind of an answer enough.
It's not. It's not. My problem is when I try not to answer things, I have a tendency to just say too much.
Yep.
It's magical. That's
Okay.
all. That's all I'll say about it, though, because it could come into play, not specifically that area, but I mean,
Gotcha.
you guys were kind of onto something with like the storm coming out of nowhere and that being suspicious and stuff, but yeah, there is something with that area, but
It
yeah,
is not
I don't
natural.
I don't want to get too much into it. So that's all I'm gonna say.
And then the most important question from the island: what happened to Kenneth?
So
Is that the one whose arm got broken?
No, that's the cook.
Kenneth
Oh,
was
right.
the cook. So what is Kenneth up to right now? Kenneth is he's done with cruise ships. He doesn't cook on them
What?
anymore.
Gee, I fucking wonder why.
ruined
You
his
gotta face your fears,
experience.
Kenneth. What the hell?
He gets nervous near water now, but
Oh, guy.
just recently, since the next campaign is going to take place approximately 6 months in the future, just recently, like within the last couple months, he's actually become the the newest employee of the Frozen Flame Tavern, and he is the new cook there. So, being treated very well by the new Raijin, who is not
Raijin Light.
Raijin Light, Diet Raijin. Yeah, that's what Kenneth is up to. I'm trying to find where I have this command at. I still haven't found it.
Let's see.
It's on Stream Elements, right? Oh, it's in timers, not... Right?
Yeah, timers.
Okay, I'll keep looking. Any other questions about the island?
Ooh,
Linder-
okay.
Yeah.
Linder's,
asked
oh,
us.
go ahead.
Okay. Linder's asked us, what was your favorite moments of the campaign? So I guess we could go in a circle.
Well, let's
We could
do
start
let's
with,
do
like,
our
our favorite
fo-
moments of the island.
Yes,
and
yeah, that's what I
then-
was gonna say. And then we'll do it again with the next one. So personally, one of my favorite moments from the island was Luna fighting the zombie on the ship. I don't know why, but that just sticks with me. It like just her reaction to it just was it was just perfect. That made me laugh a lot, and I would say one of my other favorite moments, this was such like a side detail, but was everybody making their athletics checks and stuff to climb up the steep rock, and then Takar just walking up the side of the mountain, and Luna just flying up there.
Flying.
Like that was funny to me.
That was always
Those were two of my favorite moments. And when Zorbus got killed. No, I'm just kidding. And we
Alright,
can just
who else
go. I
wants
would
to
say
go
we
next?
can go camera order. So Allie, you're up.
What camera order? Wouldn't it be John?
Are we going bottom left
Yeah,
to?
like a circle.
Oh, so you want to start at John, so you're last?
Oh my goodness.
We can go this way. So I went first. So Gibby, you're up.
Haha.
My favorite part is Luna saying, "I'm not immortal. I'm a bat, so fuck
So
you."
fuck you.
Classic, fucking
Insane.
classic. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
That was too.
First of all, I'm not immortal. I'm a bat, so fuck you.
What an amazing
So good.
So iconic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to get an emote somehow of that. I don't know how we do that, but
quote. Yeah. We'll figure something out.
merch coming soon, because that's so funny. Any others from the island?
Christian's turn.
Well, I was to say, if you have more than one, feel free.
Oh,
But I was just
I was
saying.
just gonna do. I figured we were just gonna do like one.
I mean, I did like
um,
3, but
Yeah.
gonna be honest, I was gone the last half of that island.
that
so-
is true.
That's true.
So I don't know what else happened after Zorbus's big celebration of Zorbus.
That wasn't a highlight for you though.
I mean, it was funny. I wouldn't say it was a highlight.
How
I was
Zorbus
like, what
orchestrated them.
I was gonna say, what is the most Zorbus thing? Oh, I know. Phantom Menace celebration.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, fantasy. What do you got?
I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to forget the argument over what to do with a PC's dead body.
Yeah, that was.
I don't think I'm ever gonna forget that. It's just
The
that
funny.
was-
The funniest part about that to me was like I've seen so many memes about that, like especially like when the lizard folk blah blah blah,
Mhm.
but I never had it happen in a campaign at
Yeah.
all.
Like,
And then it happened, and I was like, oh my god, all the memes are coming true right now. What's
I
going on?
know. I was just like, oh wow, this is. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd heard rumors, but
Yeah.
um, other than that, I think it was fun to like introduce Kennever with like the performance. I thought that was fun, and like
Mhm.
how I knew how all the tricks were going to be working, and then but not saying how they worked right away.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty fun.
I think that Kennever is one of the most like creative characters that I've DM'd for. I thought because your stuff, like, you were in combat a few times, but also most of the combats, like, you weren't even there. You were like either
Yeah.
trying to run distraction, you were being kidnapped, like, you know. But
I believe
you're-
I rolled initiative in that campaign 5 times total.
yeah, and the cool
And
thing is
3
like.
were on the island.
And the cool thing with that is, though, your character was never based around a concept of combat. Like, it was never a priority. And so it was just kind of cool to see a character in D&D, which is a game where you fight a lot of things, with a character who wasn't, like, geared in that direction. They played a different role in the story. It was definitely the most complex character in the way of, like, when you were casting most of your spells, it was because you were doing a performance on stage, not because you were fighting a werewolf, you know?
Right.
It was kind of cool. So, props to you for the creativity. I like that. That was a
Thank
cool
you.
thing about Kennever. Mr. John?
I mean, honestly, my favorite parts are probably whenever I got to mess with
Zorvis.
Zorbus.
When you, like, picked
Sure.
him up after he shot the kobold?
Picked him up after he shot the kobold.
Or when you knocked him unconscious after he
knocked him unconscious. I remember the night after he stayed with the kobolds, like he had kobolds holding up his hammock. I grabbed the hold of that and just fucking flipped him out of it.
I actually
that
forgot about
down.
that.
I forgot about the
Oh.
hammock.
I
Oh,
forgot
that's
about all
good.
about the hammock.
Everyone remembers Takar hitting him, but
Mhm.
I
that was funny.
I picked on him a lot and got away with it every time.
That's true. That is true. Well,
My turn.
it's your
Okay.
turn.
Easily, I feel like because it got such a response out of you, Bear, as DM, I feel like was when I tried and harvested Zorbus's body, and I just popped. I said I was like gonna pop an eyeball
Yeah.
into my mouth, and Captain Morrison was just like, "Oh, okay." It just like that was so fun. Like obviously, like me arguing over the body was funny to me, but I was like, no, I'm gonna fight for this because Luna would
Mhm.
fight for this.
That's
Yeah.
good.
But yeah,
Also-
something I also just found really clever is like when we all got knocked off the ship, and Zorbus just thought to like use the light, or Gib did.
Mhm.
I was like, huh. Wow, that
Yeah,
makes a
no,
lot
that
of
was
sense
just like,
instead
hey,
of
that
now
was
they
really
can
smart.
see us.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Yeah, so I don't know.
Light
I like-
spell.
Luna
Don't
eating
underestimate
is
it.
always my highlight.
That fair enough though.
Yeah.
A lot of funny moments came from Luna eating, so
Yeah.
nothing wrong
And how
with that.
the captain had to bribe her with like a month of food when she
I
got
think
back.
my favorite is how incensed you got when the food got fucked with on watch.
Yeah.
That's what
How did you let this
started.
happen?
That's what started the whole Luna Valandir beef in the first place. Was he fell
Yeah, it
asleep
was.
on watch, and then Luna was like, "You let the food get ruined. We're not friends anymore. Fuck you."
You had one job.
You know, and then it just like it grew from there because then there was the whole thing with the body and everything else. But no, you mentioned the moment with Captain Morrison, which Captain Morrison I feel like is a perfect way to kind of segue us into the next arc of the campaign. So before I do that, chat, does anyone else have any more questions about what happened on the island, early sessions of the campaign, anything like that you guys want to know before we move on to the second arc of the campain?
Are we gonna
Agrees.
talk
Letting
about
the
Impressive,
food get
sir.
ruined is the worst offense.
Luna agrees 100%. She was
Hey,
so
Empress,
hurt
welcome
to
in.
the core.
What'd you say, Christian? Sorry, I missed it.
I was just. Are we gonna talk about the Lost episode?
Yeah, we'll talk about it a
We'll
little
get to
bit.
that.
We'll kind of summarize it a little bit. Again, my bad. Sorry about that one, guys. It was the first stream on Tales from Hylem, and it's lost forever because I didn't have the VODs turned on and I forgot to record it. So,
Yep.
so technically our campaign would have been 14 episodes, but we
Yeah.
lost one of them. So,
All right.
I just love that in our notes, like it starts session 5, January 9th. Yay! First stream on the Tales from Hylem channel.
oops.
And then session 5.2, RIP session 5.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that one's on me. All right. So like I said, using Captain Morrison to kind of segue in. Captain Morrison, I've made a lot of not to toot my own horn or anything, but a lot of lovable or memorable NPCs. I was trying to think how I wanted to say it, you know. But like Captain Morrison, I feel like had such a tie with this group that when we came over from the island back to Ursander and everything, when Gibby was creating a new character to join in, that was like one of the main reasons Gibby and I decided that Captain Morrison should be the person that Toki like worked with within the city, like the city patrol, because everyone seemed to really like Captain Morrison. He was just, I don't know, he was just a dude, you know. Captain Morrison, some of the most lovable like NPCs I've had, like there was one from my first campaign, his name was Doug, but he was like super strong, and so he had this thing that was his thing, you know. He was really useful in combat. And then I had another one, I actually mentioned him in the intro, Captain Javier Wellsetter. He was heavily based off of Captain Levi from Attack on Titan, and so he's just this super badass guy.
Yeah.
But that made him lovable at the same time. But then there's Captain Morrison.
Solo a giant.
Yeah, Captain Wellsetter did some shit like soloing a giant, but then there's Captain Morrison, who is just like a dude. He's like almost to retirement age. He's like just trying to get through the rest of his policing career. He doesn't.
I'm glad you didn't pull that trope. He's about to retire, so you kill him off.
You know, he didn't like the corruption he saw in the city, and so that was why he worked with Toki. And I just want to give like a little clap to Captain Morrison for being such a good dude.
In a world of heroes and myths, it's nice to see a dude who's just doing his best.
Yeah, he was just such a cool character to me. But anyway.
Okay, so I want to clarify, what episode are we, for this arc, are we going to?
I would say till the end.
Oh, till the end?
Yeah,
Okay.
the second and final arc of the campaign.
Time
So
to
we had the
remember
prologue
what
and then the
about.
end.
Yep.
Big question right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Did Captain Morrison survive?
So, yes. Captain Morrison is alive. However, you know, coping.
Yeah.
I imagine that Captain Morrison and Kennever have definitely grown like a lot closer over this last 6 months.
Yes.
Just with everything that's going on. And to be completely honest, I've already had some conversations with a couple of the members of this party, and just like people that aren't involved in the like with Tales from Hylem. Just this idea that I want to come back to Ursander. I feel like this story it's not finished. Like, it had an ending, but it's not finished. Like, there's still so much stuff going on here. And so I do want to come back eventually, but I don't know when, I don't know how. I just have a few ideas. And
the story is over not because we reached the conclusion, but because the storyteller just died.
Mm-hmm. The main characters just aren't there anymore. So again, love to come back to this at some point in time. I don't know when, but I think that it is safe to say that Captain Morrison will make another appearance on Tales from Hylem.
Nice.
So,
What a homie.
but let's start with getting off the boat. So
Off
you guys got off the boat. Luna went straight with Captain Morrison to the butcher shop, where then Luna
Sure
would
did.
not return to until
The end.
the end.
Let me tell you, I was real thankful I bought those fine cut pieces of meat and ate them, because I was like, look, if this my girl Luna's last meal, she eating good, okay?
Hey, you know, you prepared.
Fair.
I did her well.
you
I
did.
did her due diligence.
You did.
okay? That's the only thing I can say.
But yeah, any questions about this arc? The order doesn't really matter. I just kind of reminding you guys. I guess this would include your boat trip as well, like back all the questions that they were asking you on the ship, that Luna refused to answer.
Yeah. How's her buddy up in the crow's nest doing?
Oh, he's not done sailing. Unlike Kenneth,
Good.
he's
I guess his ship didn't crash.
yeah, he's just kind of vibing. I don't know that he thinks of Luna often, but I would say there's definitely every once in a while he's just like,
Hey,
that was
remember
like
that bad
remember
person?
that? Yeah, he remember. I think her name was Luna. I wonder how she's doing. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. Well, yeah, that's the sad part. Maybe somebody can make him a character later. He like goes to find Luna and ends up uncovering this whole thing of corruption and how Luna died, and now he's
Say
like
less!
after
I will get vengeance for my girl.
he's after
So-
revenge for Luna.
Here's something that I hadn't really thought about, but Raijin was yelling that the debt collectors took the wrong person. Who was the right person?
The right person would have been anyone but you.
Okay.
You are a famous person. You are a
Yeah.
celebrity within the city, and so explaining the disappearance of you while on his watch was not something that Raijin wanted to deal with. And so when they were kidnapping you, literally what happened is Raijin owed people money, and they came to collect. He didn't have the money, and so he took something else, which was you, and you were unconscious because of the drug that he had given you. And
Yep.
so they took you and kidnapped you and left. And they were gonna sell you with the barbarians that they had taken to the southern grasslands, to the orcs. So that the right person was just literally anyone that
Someone
wasn't
who
you.
wouldn't be missed.
Yeah, because Raijin's was a piece of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Luna killed him.
My favorite part of this arc. I cannot tell you how much I celebrated in that moment. I was like, get fucked on.
I do have to say how that whole thing went down was so badass though.
It was.
Because like
I just
there's-
grabbed the bolt and threw
yeah,
it back
but
at
like
him.
even before that, just like knocking on the door and being like, hello motherfucker, and then you just like it was just on, and he was like completely unprepared. He gets the crossbow out from, and he thinks like, now I have a chance,
Aha!
because that's like his safety weapon, right? Like it's
Yep.
coated in this poison. It's gonna
Yep.
fuck you up.
Nope.
4d6 poison damage. He shoots it at you, and you're like, actually, here, just catch it and throw it back at him, and then he's
I said,
just
no, you. Uno
and then
reverse.
and then there was so many points in this where crits one way or another came into play, like so many times, and that was one of them. Like he crit failed the saving throw, and so then with our homebrew rules, he's now taking that crit damage on the failed saving throw, and it just and I was like, oh, he's gonna fall out the window and die. I'm gonna be honest, when I said he fell out the window, it was supposed to just be to like make the scene like really dramatic and everything. And then when everyone expressed their concerns about him falling out the window onto the street, as a DM, I was sitting here like, no, it's okay, I'll write it out. Like I didn't mean for the body to get found because of it. It was just cool.
No.
we were in dark alleys. They're really sketchy. No
Yeah,
one's
yeah,
investigating.
you
They don't care.
know.
They mind their own business. I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Um,
The
yeah.
you guys did find out the new guy, he was not the same Raijin. I don't want to explain that whole thing because, like I said, I want to come back to Ursander, and so that could be something fun to explore when we get there.
Little Asian light.
If I
Honestly, yeah.
if I don't remember, if I forget to say something, I don't want to say it right now. But when we talk about the ending, there is a point that me and Gibby realized that I want to bring up at the end that is fucking hilarious, but I don't want to bring it up right now. So if we get to the end and I haven't said it, remind me I had something. Because I'll forget.
Is it the thing we laughed about?
With Raijin?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll remind you.
All right.
Oh yeah, I just thought it was funny because then after that, Luna just went back and then sat on the house and had a snack and enjoyed the nice breeze and the moon.
Something that does make me sad about that whole thing, like just you bringing that up, what just made me sad is because of your whole monk stuff and like the way of the long death and everything. I was kind of starting with that right there to start this kind of protection arc for Luna, where she was like being blessed by the goddess of the moon for being a protector, basically, for overseeing the people of the night and taking care of people, kind of a thing, while everyone else is asleep, kind of a thing. You're foregoing rest to keep the people around you safe, and that's kind of like representation of the moon. And I wanted to do something cool with it as we kept going, and then, you know, it happens in campaigns, but it just, that does make me really sad because that was something that I thought of.
I got over this.
Because
no, don't open this wound again.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was just, it was one of those things where, like, that was one of the directions I was kind of going with.
Because
Luna's
I remember
story.
Allie and I were having a conversation about that in the notes when you said, like, it seems like the moon is smiling at you, and she's like, oh, that might be the voice of her mentor.
Or so, like, something like, I don't know. Thought like maybe she just, like, you know, had this like comforting feeling of, like, you know, which we never really got into any of Luna's backstory, but, you know, like, she was finally doing like good. She was choosing to do good, you know.
She did the right thing, kind of. That was the whole point of like the moon thing, was to set up that arc, but also to just let you, Allie, know that, like, hey, you know, people may not agree with the decision, but, like, you did a good thing tonight. You got rid of a bad person.
Yes.
So,
a very bad person.
Yeah.
I didn't doubt my decision for a second.
I know you didn't. You never did.
You guys couldn't tell by when I was like, great, I've been waiting for this. I'm gonna go kill Raijin. Not even a moment of hesitation.
That's like one of the other things that would have been fun to explore a little bit more of is Takar and Luna's relationship. Just because, like, it was such a fun, casual relationship. Because it was just like, I killed Raijin, and everyone is like kind of like freaking out a little bit, and Takar's like, oh, not how I would have done it, but, you know, I can't say I really like the guy.
She gets to kill the person she hates, but I can.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
That is exactly what you
Takar
said.
did not care at all. He just walked in and was like, I just killed the dude. Takar was like, oh, she can kill people?
But I need approval.
It was so good. Like, just every time, it felt like every time there was a topic of, like, morality that came up, Takar and Luna just already knew where they stood. They were just like, why is this hard to decide?
Yeah.
He's bad, he dies.
Yeah,
End of story.
How it works.
It was so cut and clear to Luna. Yeah.
Love it so much.
But I knew early on when I created her character that she was very steadfast in what she believes, right? Like, and it's very hard to waver. So, I very much played into that.
And I mean, Luna was a lot of, I think chat would agree, was a fan favorite. A lot of people like Luna a lot.
Oh yeah.
People talk about Luna all the time. We actually, at the place I work, my sister has a sketch of Luna on like a sticky note, like stuck to one of the shelves at work. So, like, yeah. Luna was a fan fave.
She She was.
But
R.I.P. my girl.
any questions about like the werewolf stuff? Because I know. Oh well, shit. Sorry, chat. It
The
was
monsters.
the monsters.
The
He
unknown
already told us,
monsters.
guys.
Yeah, my bad. The unknown monsters. Those they were werewolves. But any like questions?
Which we already suspected, so we
Any
were pretty.
questions about those?
I guess just
Because I was trying to make that the focus.
Oh, I have a question too.
Then some other stuff happened, and it wasn't able to be the focus, which is fine. You
Yeah.
know, again, it happens. But I definitely had stuff I wanted to go with that, which would have led to some other things. So I will have to dance. I will preface this with I will have to dance a little bit here, because though answers about the monsters you guys were hunting in Ursender will have something to do with the new campaign. So
okay.
Suspicion that silver blade that Valander sold.
Mhm.
Was that specifically why he was gifted that?
so it wasn't.
Like, was that kind of guiding that, or was
It
just
wasn't.
it?
It wasn't specific. To be completely honest, we had a campaign that I was going to put on YouTube and stuff that we'd recorded a bunch of episodes for, and just timing wise and everything, it just never worked out to do. And in that campaign, there was a character named Johan Ilbrickson or something like that. Ilbrick? I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't think he ever told us.
But he well, I know it's in my notes. Hang on. I'll try to find it while I'm talking. But he was part of an ancient family line of monster hunters. And
We did touch on this.
yeah. I definitely told you about the family. That family was created by a player, not by me. And because that campaign never got to see like the Tales from Hylem Twitch and stuff, I don't want to say the light of day because we all enjoyed it, but it just never got posted anywhere or anything. I wanted an homage to that character, that campaign, to get brought out in the stuff that we're live streaming. And so I just saw an opportunity with the shipwreck, and there could have been like an artifact and stuff. And so it was more just a shout out to the player and the player's character, which hopefully he'll be in an upcoming mini-series that we're doing. But he's also the same guy where I got the Gnome Depot from. That's his baby.
Depot.
Yeah. So anyway, that was more what it was about. I will say, had you kept the dagger and fought the werewolves and used it against the werewolves, it would have been very, 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 very useful, because that's what it was made for. It was made for fighting things like werewolves, vampires, like they were monster hunters. Very Castlevania. What's the family name in that? Sorry. Belmont. They were based off of the Belmonts, and so like that was more the thing with the dagger. Anyway, long story longer. No one ever asked me lore questions, so
I believe Silver does have a very good question.
that is a very good question. So, Luna, what's the favorite thing you ate?
Look, I told you guys, I'm so thankful, right, that I was able to give Luna a high quality final meal, right? Like, I'm so glad I thought to do that. But Zorbus was the funniest. Eating Zorbus's heart and eyes was just like phenomenal.
Now when
And I
Zorbus
feel like-
comes back, he'll be blind.
He'll just be afraid of bats.
Definitely terrified of bats. I don't know why, like what came over me, but I was just like, I'm gonna eat that body as soon as he died. And I was like, I don't know. I just
Your
think the-
intrusive thoughts won.
And they did, and I had to let them. That whole debacle was so funny to me. Yeah, I think I appreciate those two meals for different reasons, but I also love the fact that she just walked around with meat in her pockets at any given time. So.
Luna eating was always great, and it was funny that somehow you ended up like even with having all the free meat from Captain Morrison, you still ended up like not ever paying for a meal like the entire campaign, and it wasn't even from the Captain Morrison deal. It was just like everywhere Luna went, she found a way to eat for free.
Yep. I found scraps. I worked for the kitchen. Luna is resourceful, man. Let me tell you. While the onion sandwiches were helpful to the con, I don't think they would have been her favorite thing.
No.
Yeah,
No.
no.
She's a carnivore, so onions were like.
It was baffling to me that we don't know what happens when you fail.
Oh yeah, Bear. What
Well,
were
I
the
don't-
negative consequences
Those could
if you
come
ate
up.
the sandwiches? Oh, I guess.
You guys could find the recipe again. One of you could fail.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to go back into Ursinder, meet this nice lady again.
Maybe she'll decide to travel.
Shyla. Oh
Yeah.
my
Maybe
gosh.
maybe
It's been 6 months.
She was a
you know?
thrifty queen, Aurora.
So-
Luna also didn't really put that much value into money, which is like why whenever she was handed money, she would just be like, "No, you." I don't know.
Yeah.
Like she just kinda always found a way.
that was a really like cool moment for me, was when Garrett tried to pay Luna, and then Luna was like, "So what'd you do today, Garrett?" Like, fixed a chair and some locks. Oh, that seems like it's worth about this much. And Derek's like, or Garrett's like,
I was like, "Let me see the
"Dude."
chair. That's a nice chair. I'm gonna
Yeah,
tip you."
Garrett's like, "Okay, fine, whatever, man."
That was definitely the strangest person we've ever had working at the Dimming Coals.
I will say, I feel like I did Garrett dirty. I feel like I had a different voice for him every time I spoke as Garrett. He did not keep the same voice throughout.
If you
Yeah.
did, no one noticed, so you're fine.
I appreciate
No one
it.
called
I
you out for it,
appreciate
so that's not true.
All right, I'll take it, honestly. Good enough.
What else?
I do got a question, but I'm
Alright.
sure we won't have an answer. We're not gonna get an answer to it.
Okay. Hey, I might be able to skirt around some stuff.
I mean, I guess technically you could, because us as players didn't hear it, and I didn't want to go back to the YouTube and watch it because you told us to deafen. What was told
Oh.
to Car?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Viewers
Does
know,
anyone know?
but we as players don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
actually have no idea about that.
Yeah. So, when you guys deafen, Takar, do you want to?
I don't remember all of it, but I can give what I do remember. It was a vision. There was multiple different parts to it. I saw one that was of Valandir becoming king after defeating these creatures, which is why Takar was pressing so hard for him to leave that prison and wouldn't just turn around and leave. As well as I believe the voice said something about one of us is not being completely truthful, and it showed a picture of a blue fire.
Yep.
Like an icy fire.
Yeah.
And that was alluding to Kennever not being honest with you guys about knowing the contact within the frozen flame, but also about other issues that the seer was trying to warn you about could come up if they weren't addressed, basically. So, but the reason she chose Takar is because of something that I would like to touch on, because it never really got touched on that much until like the last episode or last two, and that's that Takar was never a dwarf.
Yep.
Nope.
Takar,
I was a vampiric changeling.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so he had the ability to change his appearance if he fed off of people's, and it's an emotion basically. It's blood or an emotion basically. And the one that he decided to go with was fear. He was playing a barbarian. It made sense, you know.
Takar,
But-
no wonder we were so similar. I can also eat blood.
You can
And-
fly. I had spider climb. You know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
We
and
were so cool.
and so that's why like you know everyone's climbing up the mountain, Takar's just walking up. People have to
Yep.
climb up buildings, Takar just walks up them. And no one really like questioned it very much.
Yeah.
But
It was so funny.
because
Like,
he's just
every
a
time I'm
dwarf
like,
with
I made
spider
a point.
climb. And it's
I
like
made a point to make it like, no, Takar is just literally walking up the wall, and nobody said shit.
yeah. But you
It's
know,
great.
every other mannerism that Takar had was very dwarf-like because he was from the Stormraven Barbarian clan, and he had heavy ties with the Thunderaxe keep from Zon of Lyneth. And so yeah, but he was never a
great-
dwarf.
Takar's great grandpa was literally Thunderaxe.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So very strong ties to the Thunderaxe keep. And he's actually like in my world where the Storm Herald Barbarian comes from, is from the Thunderaxe. So like
Very cool.
at least here in this area, he was the first one. I could read you a bunch of Zon of Lynithian lore, but that's probably going to come out in a different thing. So, but it was definitely a yeah. That was one thing I wanted to touch on for sure. Is just Takar never was a dwarf. He just looked and acted like one all the time.
Yeah, I figured it out once in that same session when it was like, do you want to not be afraid of this guy anymore? Like,
yeah, and you're like, wait, what? Hold up, aren't you a dwarven barbarian?
Yep, totally.
What you doing with this witchy stuff?
It's not like I was blessed by the Fae upon birth or anything.
Yeah, it was.
That'd be weird.
But yeah, no. So that was something personally I wanted to touch on, which is, and I guess just very quickly, and then I definitely want to answer Aurora's question. He said vampiric changeling, just so everyone knows, for most of the more I guess I don't know what to call them, like exotic races. No, I don't like. It's like
Eberron races. I mean,
complicated. Like the more that they have, like you have like the elves, which they have they can meditate, and but everyone knows about elves and dwarves and stuff like that. For most things like Warforged, changelings, I have my own origins for them that I'm putting into the world instead of the origins that they have within D&D. And with that, I usually add stuff to it. So like vampiric changeling is one of the 3 different variations of changeling that you can be in the world of Hylem. That'll get touched on more, I'm sure, eventually within lore and on the wiki and stuff like that. So, So Aurora would like to know, if your D&D characters were transported to the modern world 2023, what place do you think your character would eat at?
I'm ready.
All right, we'll start with Allie.
Korean barbecue.
Makes sense.
Because she's not gonna get shamed for just ordering a shitload of meat. She could probably eat most of it raw and no one would notice. Or she could cook it if she was feeling a little spicy. But yeah, and they're not gonna fiddle around with all them vegetables and things.
Fair enough.
I think that would be her happy spot.
Yeah. John? Where would good old Takar eat?
Outback.
That is such a difficult question.
Does it have to be a food chain?
I mean, I just listed a general food type, so.
I just personally I see Takar
I mean,
as
Takar eats fear. Like that's
Yeah.
his food. So
so
I guess
Takar just goes to eat at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal.
Yeah. I was gonna say like some fucking hay bale mazes or during Halloween time. Fucking horror houses.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. What about Kennifer?
Jeez. I think she'd be a fan of like dinner theaters or anywhere that had like entertainment with the food.
Yeah.
As just because she would feel more comfortable there. If we
Movie
want to talk,
theaters they serve you at? No, I'm just kidding.
Rich people.
Don't lie to
dinner
us.
theater
She'd
is
eat at
perfect.
Olive Garden.
I was actually thinking that.
I could see that though.
Hey, never-ending soup salad and breadsticks is pretty lit.
Yeah, because Kennever's definitely someone that like has entertained the wealthy and seen the lifestyle, but like also I don't feel like Kennever was ever like extremely arrogant or anything. So I could see her not being above never-ending soup and salad, you know?
Yeah,
like,
no, I think that would be great.
Like what? Hell yeah, come
This
in.
is the real magic.
I
Especially
definitely
during never-ending pasta.
before Gibby gives his real answer for Toki, I don't know why, but Cheesecake Factory. For Toki, I see Cheesecake Factory. Just because, like, I don't know if it's because of his kid or what, but it just seems like a place Toki would eat.
You see, I had two answers. One was like a Toki with his family answer,
Uh-huh.
and then like Nightshade answer.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it. I love that. Yo, Smooth, welcome in.
Yo, Smooth, the homie. I think for the Nightshade, he'd just be at some like hole in the wall bar where there's a bunch of scums
Mm-hmm.
Fair
because
enough.
he's just
But good fried
consistently
food.
there trying to get shit done.
Yeah, but it's like the world's craziest burger that you've ever had, and you're like, what? Luna's the cook, kind of a thing. But
But there's a reason I'm strong and a cook. Gotta break up the fights too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Just eating at some fucking Waffle House or Denny's.
That's where-
Yes, Waffle House. That's Toki's scene, baby.
let's go.
We figured it out. Let's go.
Oh, he's eating there because he works there. Have you seen his fighting skills? He gotta be.
He's in there.
That's the Waffle House special right there.
Toki's the one catching the chair that's getting thrown at him.
Like,
God,
try
what a
me.
video.
Oh my god, but for real, that's Luna IRL. Like
Mhm.
in the kitchen, someone throws a chair and then Luna's ready to
Just
beat some
catches
ass.
it and puts it back down. It's like I'm too old for this drama.
I think that
All right,
is
what
very
if- what if-
funny that
Oh, go ahead.
like Toki, Luna, and Takar all like had the same energy as that guy who hit the dude with the twisted T.
Fucking pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Yo,
Smooth,
thanks,
thank you for
Smooth.
the prime.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it, man. Also, Sea Liver, we weren't talking yet, but thank you for the sub as well.
Oh, that's so funny.
Just pure fuck around and find out energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then there was Kennever just like, guys, wait.
So what's your
Jennifer's like, can we go to the IHOP over there?
yeah.
She's like, actually, there's a nice brunch place near with mimosas, so
Yeah,
I'd
there's,
rather go there.
There's this place that isn't like doesn't have awful evil vibes.
When I was doing Lyft, someone told me IHOP is the Waffle House for people who can't fight.
I can see it.
Yeah.
So
But
it makes
for
sense
like
Kennever would go there, yeah.
Yep. For the family stuff, I'd see he'd go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even Magic Castle. Damn.
Hey, he's a shoemaker, man. He, you
Yeah.
know,
A very good one.
Right, but
expenses and stuff. I bet he makes a yearly or at least like a bi-yearly trip to Disney World though.
Yeah,
I could see him going.
Oh yeah.
that'd be lit.
Nightshade. He gets to go there because the Nightshade has his own like comic book deal.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. He actually goes on vacation, but he never sleeps the whole time because like he ends up in Florida, and so he's taking care of crime the whole time he's there.
So many Florida men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toki versus the Florida men.
We're back to the
To-
fuck around and find out. vibes.
Toki takes on Florida. I need a comic.
God, someone please make
It's
at
like
least
the
the cover art.
It's like the like Deadpool versus the Marvel Universe, but it's just
Mhm.
Toki takes on Florida.
So here's a question for everyone. What was your characters like based off of? Like
Okay.
for me, for example, both my characters were like based off of 2 anime characters. Toki was based off of Dark Shadow from My Hero Academia. That's why I went the Echo Knight, so I had like a shadow with me.
hmm
And
And then
obviously a
Zorvis was
little
just
bit of
based off
Batman.
of a prick. And Zorvis was just based off a prick from Dragon Ball Super.
That Zamazu.
Yep.
Nice.
I couldn't remember his name for a second.
Toki definitely also had Batman vibes, but
True. I think what happened was I had My Hero Academia in my head, and when we started telling the story, we started throwing all this like Batman stuff in. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
I think part of it was just me playing Gotham Knights, honestly, and just being like, hey,
Yeah.
this was cool stuff that happened in there that I have reference to. How do you feel about Batman stuff? And you being like, Batman's fucking cool, so yeah. Anyone else have like a reference for their character, or just kind of?
Yeah, I based Kennever a lot off of Zatanna from DC Comics.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because when I saw like the character token, I was like, hey,
Yeah, with the top
my
hat
first
and
my
everything.
first thought was dressed like Satana.
Yep. So it was especially where she also like really has a close relationship to her father. That was also something I was pulling from that.
No one else though?
I just saw the sanguine nectar race and I was like, oh, let's look at this. I was like, this picture is so fucking cute. How could I not do this? And then I was like,
Which once again,
I can make this wild. So
And
I
you
don't
did.
know.
You made a wild character. They were really cool, but
Yeah.
they were wild. It was
I don't
awesome.
know. I literally just pulled it out of my ass.
Before
and
we get to
speaking
the
of
next,
sanguine
good.
nectar, once more, I'm just trying to find the name of the person who came up with them.
Oh, okay. When you find them, let me know. I was just gonna say, John, real quick. Did you have like a? I feel like you just
No.
kind of came up with the car. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have a basis or anything.
All right.
His basis was, I want to use hammers to smash people's heads in.
And you did it really well, and took a lot of hits in the process.
Yeah.
You got the name though.
Shout out once again to Z Tristan on D&D Beyond, who came up with the Nectar race.
And we had so much fun with it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Had so much fun with it for sure.
All right. Do you have a favorite line or moment of your character?
We did touch on the favorite moment, really.
Well, for the
a little
island.
bit. Yeah, for the
Pretty-
island, not on the recent arc.
As far
I
as
kinda said
favorite
mine,
lines, I
but-
feel like the favorite line is just always going to be. First off,
First of
I'm
all,
not a mortal. I'm a
Mortal,
bat.
I'm a
so
bat,
fuck
so
you.
Fuck you.
It was just
I had
so
a really
good.
one that I never got to use.
Now's your chance.
I was just waiting for someone to like confront Kennever about something, and she was just gonna say, "I'm an illusionist. Do you know what that is? It's a fancy word for a liar."
That's good.
Look, I pulled mine out of my ass. I was like, I am so sick of this fucking character calling my character mortal.
Yeah.
I was like,
The
Tell you what,
funniest part
let's-
about that whole thing is that
Is that-
Takar wasn't immortal.
No.
Fair enough. I hadn't even thought
Yes.
about it like
No,
that.
I didn't even.
Yeah. Before we do like our favorite moment of this, let's get into like the tail end of the campaign. Let's finish up the campaign, and then we'll go back and be like, all right, what was our favorite moments and stuff of the second arc.
Okay.
So Valandir gets arrested. You guys don't see or hear from him for a while. Kennever has a performance, and at that performance, you find out where Valandir's been.
Yep.
What's going on with the characters at that point in time? Like, what What was everybody thinking in the moment? I'm just
I was
curious.
kicking ass and taking names.
That's true. You were. You
at that moment, it was like that moment in the movie or the TV show where all the pieces fall into place and like the flashbacks are happening for Kenneber, because it was like, oh, that's that Valantir. Oh shit.
Yeah. Was it just like an immediate sense of like, we gotta help him out, or was it more? Did that not more come around until like Takar showed up and Takar's like, hey, like, we need to get him out, kind of a thing.
I think she definitely wanted to help him out, but overall, her more what she was feeling was, oh no, this is bad. This could have really bad consequences for all of us, not just him. Because I don't know if I touched on it enough, but Kenneber does not do well with losing people.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Backstory and everything. No one else? Was it more of just like a... Because, I mean, we all know it's a game at the end of the day. So, like, was it just more of like a, okay, player character's in trouble, so we need to go get them out of prison kind of a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, because, I'll be honest, like, character-wise, Toki really had no reason to go save him other than that these group of people wanted to help him.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Like, Toki, like, had maybe, like, 2 conversations with Valandir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was definitely like an oh shit moment. And Luna trying to like was struggling with like this trying to be like a better person in a way, was like this is how I do that. Like this is one way I can kind of do that. Even if I don't necessarily like this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in a way, like
Yeah, because Luna and Valandir
we
did
stuck
not
out
really
for
get
each
along.
other. Yeah, like she didn't care, but she at the same time she's like, well, without this person being there, maybe I wouldn't have done as well on the island or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this certain level of like trying to like be more empathetic, because that's something that she's just not.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See also the hug.
Yeah. Was that good for you? That's a good line too.
That
was
is a
also
good line.
good.
Was it good for you?
Yeah, that was funny.
That was hilarious.
Oh god, that was so funny.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know how much we're gonna like get into like characters like details if they didn't really get unveiled today, but I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said at the beginning, there's some stuff that just won't get answered. But I mean, the big question, I'm sure, we've talked about this several times at this point, but at the very end, Veridin is there. The two of you have just seen Takar get run through with an icicle from his back. Valandir is holding him, screaming in protest. And Veridin looks up to the two of you and says, "Run. I have what I came for." I know. We all know. But
Yeah. Let's tell the audience.
Chat. Why'd you guys stay?
Gibby, you can go first.
Well, it was also a little bit of like, for me, it's like, it was more of like a player choice too, more than like anything. Because I was like, oh, Bear's not going to kill us here. Because
that was your first mistake.
Because at the start of that, he had already alluded to, there's a bunch of guards coming down. And I was like, okay, I only have 2 hit points. The big bad guy's right here. He's telling me to leave, but if I leave, I'm gonna have to fight all those guards.
Oh.
Me as a player,
Yeah.
I'm like, this
Gibby
is
and I
a
talked about this
lose-lose
before, too.
situation.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way Bear's actually gonna kill us here. But what would? And then in that moment, I was like, all right, what would Toki do in this situation? And I was like, oh, he. As much as he wouldn't be for it. He's gonna have to fight his way out. So he's gonna go start with the big guy and work his way down if he has to. If he's gonna go down, he's gonna go down to the big boss, not the little grunts.
And I know you had mentioned something to me too, like previously about Toki, like being this person that's trying to like clearing the streets, basically, right? And when you've got the big bad evil
Like the
right in
main-
front
Yeah,
of you,
the
Yep.
Yeah,
source
like,
of a lot of the
who-
corruption.
yeah, like why would you not like take that opportunity?
Mhm.
You know, in a way,
Mhm.
yeah. Which I thought was a good point too that you said.
But also, I really thought, okay, this is a trap.
didn't
Like,
either,
I
yeah.
can't go either way, so I
I
gotta
thought we were gonna
fight.
be locked up.
Gibby of all people should know that I'll kill your character.
Yeah.
I know, but
You can only get so
I was
lucky
like,
with
if
mummies,
we
man.
all die, he won't kill all of us.
Then again,
no.
be honest. Was there like a little bit of like a flashback to you falling down a pit after a skeleton minotaur knocked your character into a pit of bones, and you roll a natural 20, come back with 1 hit point, unleash a mummy, and solo it? Did that run through your mind? You're like, I can take him at 3 hit points.
Got this.
I got this. I did a mummy at 1 hit point. I can do the BBG at 4.
level, like what? Level 3?
Yeah, level 3. So this would have been level
You know,
6. Tony's
I-
sitting over here like, I got this. I got the speed to rap. I just gotta get a 19 or 2 and we're good.
Like, I thought like he could. I was like, maybe there was like that little glimmer of hope, but I was like, there's no way I honestly, like, full disclosure, I was like, there's no way I win this fight though.
Yeah. I had the same thought. As soon as you guys said that you were staying, I feel like I wish I had done a better
Like,
job
how
of
can I keep
hiding
you
it.
alive?
I wish I had done a better job of hiding it. But I feel like you can just feel the defeat in my voice of like, damn, they're really gonna
You-
die here.
You got
Yeah.
so sober faced, and I was like, oh, that was the only reason I was like, no, I am gonna die. I was like, but at this point, I'm like, I've said no. I've made my
I know.
stand.
I was like, you guys said you were gonna stay, and I think my face just shuts down in that moment.
Yeah, no, I could just see Bear's whole attitude just shift to this very serious moment, and I was like, oh, I fucked up.
So
I was
Gibby
like,
knows this. Gibby knows this. Those of you that tuned into Lone Egg stream the other night, which by the way, that's the homie, so go check him out. But would have heard about this. But Allie, I never told you. Veridin, 31 hit points. That's what he had left.
Damn,
You
that's
guys,
like 2 solid hits for me.
yeah.
If I would have rolled a 19, I would think I would have been okay.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, if Takar gets killed in that fight instead of getting one-shotted, which I was not planning for that.
Yeah, that was the
Did
moment
you
when I was like,
crit?
all right, you guys need
Yeah.
to leave.
Yeah, so advantage, you didn't know he was there. And
Yep.
he critted, and he was using an
Oh,
item that allowed
I
him to
got that.
cast a 6th level
6.
ice knife at you.
Yep.
It was his most
Oh.
powerful thing,
Oops.
and of course, Veridin is a chess player, and so Veridin had he had seen this coming. He wasn't, he didn't know it was happening that night. You guys, there was definitely a good chance you were gonna get away with it and stuff, but he knew that you were gonna be one of the biggest problems, Takar. He knew that you were going to be able to take a lot of hits. He knew that you had fought elite guards on the road and won, pretty
You know,
much
I was gonna say, it's not
single-handedly.
like I soloed 6 of his
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. And him being smart, he heard about your endeavors that, you gaining the unbroken title. So he knew you were going to be formidable. And so he targeted you first and he critted, and that was it.
Yeah.
But because the thing is, even if you're at 5 hit points after that, right? If you don't go down to the lightning bolt, you're at five hit points after everything, right? So the first hit Veridin places on you, you go down, but you got 1 hit in first.
I would have gotten 2.
Yeah, I
With
think you
multi-attack.
guys could win that fight. because
I'm really mad at myself because I chose to do that scream thing, and I was like, I should have just attacked and used my extra attack, because I would have done however much damage
yeah,
with
but
that
you
extra
know,
attack.
it's in the
It's hard
moment.
to tell. I'm like, do I
You
stun him
panic.
or do I do damage? Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, do I stop him from taking
I
a
thought
turn
you were
potentially?
trying to stun him so you could run away, and I was like, okay, so they are gonna run.
No,
No,
I was trying to stun him so we could keep
But
him
but
from
think
making
about
moves.
how
for a
crazy that
round.
would have been if
Yeah.
she had stunned him. Her and Toki would have all had advantages
him.
on all of
Yeah.
their attacks.
Yeah.
Like, and Toki only needs a 19 or a 20 to get another attack with the wraps. Like he would,
Yeah.
and he would have been rolling with advantage for every single hit. Like,
Yeah.
they might have. I think you made it. I
Yeah.
think it was a good call. He just made the save.
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
if I
the thing
can
is, I was like, ugh.
if I can make that hurt a little bit less for you, he rolled high enough to save it, but he had a legendary resistance. So if he
I
had
had a
if he
feeling.
had failed it, he would have just chosen to succeed. So because again, he wasn't a level 6 BBEG.
no.
Yeah.
He was meant for when you're doing more damage. And like, you know, I thought about it and I'm like, I could have pulled punches. I could have lied about rules. I could have not had him use shield. I could have not had him use his best spells and abilities and stuff. But that also just felt bad too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that feels bad because we try our hardest.
yeah,
to fight him,
exactly.
Right? So even if we fail, it's like it still felt like we did what we could.
And that's
You know
why
what I mean?
that's why I didn't. And
Yeah.
that's why but that's why I was just so like depressed at the end. I'm just like, yeah. That's going to hit.
Yep. Yeah, I would say for Luna, that decision to stay was hard. Me as a character, I was kind of like, Gibby, are you fucking staying? Or as a
Player?
player,
Yeah.
I was like, Gibby, you gonna fucking stay for this? I don't know if we're gonna do this. I was like, what's he gonna choose? But at the same time, I was kind of like, it's not that I, you know, obviously, it's not that I had these close ties with Valandir or even really to Carr. But again, Luna really struggling with this internal struggle of right and wrong, and
Mhm.
just seeing Takar get stabbed in the back was just such a like. It was such a like cowardly thing to do in her eyes. Like this man couldn't even stand up to fight this like formidable opponent. He just stabbed him in the back when he wasn't looking. And that was wrong. That was clearly just wrong to her.
And she perceived the situation 100% correct. Verdun didn't want to fight Takar because he knew Takar could take a beating, so he wanted Takar out of the picture as fast as possible. And so Luna was 100% right. It was cowardly. I mean, cowardly or strategic, however you want to look at it. But he was like, if I don't have to deal with Takar, it's better. But again, did not expect him to one-shot Takar. That was I expect him to fuck him up, but not. Sheesh.
Yeah. So,
Not 108 points of damage.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I was like, like player Allie was screaming to run away because she loves this character so deeply, and if there is a chance that she's not gonna make it out of this, it's gonna hurt. But that's not what she would do in this moment. So, yeah, I was like, Luna ain't no bitch. Like I'm like holding back tears, like rolling these dice, like I'm gonna die.
And as much as it sucks, though, like that is one of the things that like when you commit to your character makes the game so good. Like makes this game so fun, makes it so enjoyable, makes it like real. Like, you know, yes, it's all pretend. It takes place on graph paper and stuff, but like that doesn't mean everything you feel isn't real, and you know how you feel about your characters and stuff. And so it's cool. We get to build a really cool story together, and sometimes it doesn't end how you wanted it to, but I mean, I don't regret the campaign at all. I thought it was a lot of fun. I loved playing with you guys. I'm so excited for the next one.
Yeah.
The worst part about getting that one shot is I didn't get my bonus action. Like get to do my bonus action when I was in the dueling rules with Valandir.
Oh yeah.
Because I was gonna rage.
Yeah.
Which I probably would have survived those two.
Damn.
Yeah, you know, there was decisions made that made that entire situation very difficult. Like there was just a lot of stuff that went into it. So, okay, before we end this, there's one thing that I'm remembering to say it. Me and Gibby are in a call. We're talking about stuff that happened, right? And all of a sudden, I remember there was a mixture of spoilers if you haven't seen the D&D movie. It was a mixture of having seen the D&D movie and just going back through everything that happened in that session, right?
I already know where this is
You
going.
guys went and talked to Raijin, and Toki had it so that Raijin was waiting with a boat. And you guys all died. And now Raijin is just sitting at the dock ward waiting with a boat.
Yeah. I was thinking about that.
And he's just like, they're going to come. And he's scared of Toki because Toki's like, this made the window comment. So he's like, does this guy know how the last Raijin died? Like, so he's like, okay, he's going to show up. Morning comes and he's just like passed out in the boat. Like, why didn't they ever show up?
Yeah.
So I did think about that afterwards. I was like,
that just made me laugh so much, dude. Because I was talking about, like, if it was a comic book, like, there would be the panel of Verdun walking away. Like, if the doors closing behind him would be the last, like, picture. And then you turn the page, and it would just be Raijin sitting at the boats with, like, a lantern, like, are they coming?
Dusk till dawn.
It's just so funny to me.
Did I tell him the wrong place? I don't.
Oh man. So
I do have a.
So I guess your favorite. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well, I guess one I'm not expecting you to be able to answer, and one that I'm just curious about.
Okay.
First, did he believe Kennever that she wasn't in on it?
Did he believe that she wasn't in on it? Yes, kind of. She knew, or he knew that you guys had spent more time than what your description of your relationship would have, like, allowed for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He also, the reason he offered you to go visit is if it was as passive as you said it was, why would you really care that much? Why would you go? And so it confirmed some of his suspicions, that you guys were a little bit closer. Reason he never really did anything, you distracted him from his evilness. He was manipulating his brother currently. He just forced his brother to, not forced, but tricked his brother into killing someone that was innocent, right? Mm-hmm. He's doing these terrible things, and you were, your performances, your stories were distracting for him, and he liked you because of that. And so even though the rest of the party he was ready to just wipe out, didn't matter, he would have wanted to keep you around.
That makes it feel worse somehow. But
what was your
other thing? The Gnome Depot, when I went back.
Okay.
Was that just like, I don't want to do the shopping, or was there actually like a group of really important people there?
So that wraps up what we had for that campaign. Can't tell you. I'm sorry.
I see. Okay, I was just curious. Like, I was like,
it was the king. He was picking up that thing that let him cast Ice Knife.
Imagine.
My mind.
Oh my god.
But like,
that's not what happened. But dude, that would have been evil.
I thought it might have just been like, we don't have time to do this, and I was like, you know what, fair. I sprung this on you last second, but then you got so specific about it. I was like, wait a minute.
Say, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but when he said like you guys can come back, he was like, you're not supposed to be here though. Like me letting you in, this is like a special thing. So if I say you have to go, you guys gotta go.
Yep.
So yeah. Any last closing comments, questions from you guys?
R.I.P. Luna.
I guess
Much love.
just thinking about what Kenver is gonna do. Like, I know I don't want to go too far into it because there's a chance we might see her again, but I think Toki did talk about his family to her at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very well known to like the party that Toki had a family.
Okay. I think as someone who has been that little girl who has lost her father, I think she would try to like sort of be that cool aunt to like your kid.
That's funny because me and Gibby actually talked about that. Like, I bet Kennever would be involved.
Oh yeah, totally, because she feels super guilty. And also just like after the performance, as soon as she gets home, she goes upstairs to that drawer and pulls out all of the remaining vials of Sanish and just throws them against the wall. Just shatters them.
Makes sense. R.I.P. Luna.
Yeah.
Her last.
Hey, the last little thing
good.
she did, you know?
She did good.
She did good.
She did good.
Luna affected a lot of people in her little bit of time, so.
Yeah.
I know.
Sorry, I didn't.
That's the girl.